If you don't use content in your sales process going into 2024, you're going to be broke forever. Okay, here's what I mean. So, when you're examining any successful online business, there's usually two key principles throughout all of them in general. Okay, so number one is you have leverage and then you have predictability. All right, and in this video specifically, I'm going to be explaining number one, how to build leverage within your sales process. And then number two, how to build predictability within your sales process so that people can convert at the highest rates possible. Okay. Without obviously much manual effort from your side. Okay. So when you learn how to implement the both of these at really, really high volumes, you're going to be starting running the business of your dreams, and you're going to be working on the business instead of inside of it. Okay. So to kick off, I just want to show you, a visualized prospect journey and kind of explain it. Okay. So obviously, we have a cold prospect right here. They've never seen you or heard of you and or your offer in your life. Okay. So from here, what you're going to do is, obviously, since this prospect is hopefully qualified, we're going to try and hit them and, essentially generate attention with these keyword ads. Okay. Or these ads right here. You can either choose, the keyword route and, send them straight to a setter and try to convert them as quick as possible. Or you can try and play, the indirect route and go, the long way and, just use reciprocity and just use a follow ad. Okay. Then from here, what you're going to do is, off of your follow ad, assuming that, they don't, or assuming that you don't target them with the keyword ad and you send them to a setter and book a call straight away, you can hit them with a follow ad. And then from here, from this follow ad, they're going to click on your profile and follow you. And then they're going to consume your short form content. And then from here, there's another call to action to a setter. And if they, they convert, then boom, that's a book call. They convert and, you can close them. But even if they don't, you can play an even longer game. So you make long form YouTube videos that give very, very in-depth value. Then from here, you can play an even longer game, assuming that they don't book calls after watching your videos. Okay, you can make them opt into your group, hide 5-8 hour lead magnet with the call to action at the end inside of the group. And then from here, have your setters milk the group and message all the people that join and get them on a call. Okay, and they're going to be inside of your pipeline forever, assuming that you keep providing value and you keep adding call to actions inside of your the assets that you post inside of your group. And I'm going to be making more videos on obviously milking your group and all that different type of stuff. So yeah. But in terms of breaking the ice, right, like I just explained, at the end of the day, selling B2C is the same as selling candy to children. And while you might agree that obviously you guys don't have children lining up in front of your store, and obviously by that I mean consumers lining up in front of your offer and buying in, right? Long story short is you're not showing them any candy. Okay, how do you expect to attract any consumers to your offer if you're not making content or running ads, right? Now, what a lot of beginner coaches do is the following: they leverage the audiences of other coaches in their niche, right? And while that may seem smart at first, what is the point of doing this if, number one, they don't know you're a coach? Number two, they click on your profile and you have zero social proof behind you. And number three, you don't even show your face. Okay. Now, as a former consumer myself, I've never bought from anybody over the internet with zero content to consume or, zero social proof, zero reviews, zero anything. Okay. Hence why you need to start creating content as soon as possible. So how do we really break the ice? We break the ice with follow ads. Okay. So, this obviously, the more indirect route, more indirect value approach, right, of things. But you want to use Instagram ads and you want to run a campaign focused on acquiring followers in your niche. These are called follow ads, and you want to structure them as follows. Right now, this is obviously, I get this from my copywriting sheet that I fill out for every single client that joins the program the first day that you're in. Okay. And since the ads are so good in terms of following your ideal client avatar, or targeting them, I should say, you're basically paying for your content to be put in front of qualified prospects, as opposed to obviously depending and relying on solely organic content and having to filter out a lot of unqualified prospects. Software or meta ads, whatever type of ads, they're going to filter out the bad prospects for you by leveraging targeting, because targeting has gotten really, really good over the years. Therefore, you want to use this to your advantage. Okay. And even if they aren't 100% filtered out, the call to action at the beginning of the video, are you a target audience? It'll do the job for you. Okay. And then optional is keyword ads, right? You can use these in 3 different type of ways. These are way shorter. These are way more direct and, to the point, right? and these are used to obviously just start conversations and convert people. Okay, you can use these in three different ways. Number one, you can use them to directly put yourself and your offer in front of a warm audience and start conversations. If you have a lead magnet, you can indirectly you can use the indirect approach and put yourself in front of an audience by having them opt in for a lead magnet and letting them consume it, and then attempt to convert after the lead magnet, okay, or after you send them it, right? And then number three is you can also use retargeting ads, or you can retarget warmer prospects who have consumed content of yours and farm engagement and start conversations that way, after they're nurtured and they know who you are and they've been consuming your content, okay. Now once people are informed that you exist, or they even know of your existence, what you want to do is you want to make prospects problem aware, and you want to solve their problems using the indirect value approach, okay. So once you've attracted all of the qualified prospects with your ads, it's now time to make them problem aware and solve their problems after making them aware of them, okay. So after being in the space for the past 2 to 3 years, I've realized that the biggest mistake that I see from most coaches is not having a middle of funnel in place, right? Most don't even have a top of funnel, okay, which is insane. Which I don't know how you expect money without having a middle or top of funnel. Now, middle of funnel is important because this is the process that does all of the selling for you, okay? So once somebody knows of you and your offer is of importance to them, they will be sure to check your content out and learn, new stuff, okay? The only way to separate yourself from the rest of your competitors is to provide as much implementable value as humanly possible. Therefore, here are 3 action steps, okay? So hire short form editors that are actually talented and have, they know what they're doing. So be sure that, before you hire an editor, make sure that they have case studies and that they have blown videos up before, okay? Now, you also want to make sure that they're not trying to screw you over and that they're not trying to use other people's content to get clients. And then when they send you something, it turns out absolute dog shit because it's not their video, right? Step number 2 is to start filming this content using the HRVC principle, which is hook, rehook, value, and call to action to comment a keyword, which is something that I've done a whole another video on, okay? Step number 3 is in your videos, call out a certain issue that may be occurring in your client's personal or financial life, okay? And then an example of number 3 is obviously a dating coach. So they would call out the fact that lots of men don't know how to groom themselves properly, and then teach them how to in under X seconds, okay? Now, for a sales coach, this could be calling out a common objection that many reps struggle dealing with, or people that are getting into sales, or haven't been on an offer before, want to learn sales and want to get on offer, or dealing with on calls, and teach them how to go about the objection and dealing with it, okay? It's simple things like that, simple, videos like these that do really, really great, especially with, people that are looking to actually buy, okay? Then in terms of, lead magnets and long form type of VSLs or videos, so this is the indirect value approach continued. Use long form content to continue nurturing prospects who are really, really interested in your solution, and it's going to help you filter out all the bad ones, okay? Then from here, point prospects towards a lead magnet, right? So a lead magnet is essentially an extended way to point out problems that your ICA might be facing. And solving it essentially extended and in really, really in-depth detail, okay? So for example, my free Content2Cash program, it teaches coaches how to scale a coaching business, do it yourself, DIY, right? It gives them basically everything that I implement, right? Not only that, but it's very, very in-depth. Right? I have 7 hours worth of video content in there. Now, why does this matter? Okay. Now, as we all know, it takes 7 hours on average to pre-sell somebody on your solution. And it also takes 7 hours for a woman to be comfortably led from meeting somebody to, pursuing farther relations with them. Now, I know it's kind of like a crazy little, comparison, but the whole point is, if you can make a prospect consume your entire lead magnet and you provide them with life-changing value, then they're going to be bound to pay you back somehow eventually. Okay. So obviously, the whole moral of the story, we just went through all this, but the whole moral of the story is this, right? It's up to you, who the prospect is going to work with after they've, number 1, consumed 7 hours of your content. Number 2, went through your entire lead magnet. Number 3, they're qualified. And then number 4, they've implemented your value from, the short form content, the long form VSLs, the lead magnet, and got real world results from it. Now the moral of the story. Content does 75% of the selling for you. And all the big coaches are no different from you. They've simply just implemented leverage and predictability within their sales process by using ads and content to consistently and constantly drive traffic and nurture and sell traffic on autopilot, while their team is in place to convert any qualified prospects who opt in, while they focus solely on, creating content and filming ads and doing all this different type of stuff, working on the business instead of in it. So if you want to be lazy and not create content, then the joke's on you. Because not only will you stay broke and not sign any high ticket clients, but you'll also have to do 100 times the work that any of the big coaches do by re-explaining and re-pitching your offer to cold traffic one by one a million times. Okay. So moral of the story, please create content. It's very leveraged and it sells for you forever. Thank you guys for watching this video. Like I said, create content, and yeah, thank you guys. See you later. Peace.